The early summer of 1995 marked the return of the Great American Bash after a 2-year absence in World Championship Wrestling. The inevitable clash between two legends, Macho Man Randy Savage and the Nature Boy Ric Flair, spiraled out of control after Flair attacked Savage's father, Angelo Poffo, at Slamboree. With no love lost, they headlined the renewal of this legacy event. The United States Heavyweight Championship had been vacant, and a tournament was held to crown a new title holder, where both Flair and Savage advanced to the semifinals. However, they were both eliminated, leaving the other semifinalists, Sting and Main, to now meet in the finals at the pay-per-view for the title. The Nasty Boys reclaimed the World Tag Team titles from Harlem Heat at Slamboree, despite being attacked by the Blue Bloods earlier in the night, who again made their presence known, appearing at the top of the aisle at the conclusion of the match. The Blue Bloods get their opportunity to claim gold, while the Renegade challenges Arn Anderson for the television title, along with 4 additional contests set to take place on the card. The event opens with a singles contest between Brian Pillman and Alex Wright. They exchange holds, reversals, and head scissors to begin the match. They then alternate using submission maneuvers, and Wright makes an attempt at a surfboard. Pillman responds with a chop, and Wright retaliates by sending him outside the ring. Pillman pulls Wright down with him and delivers another chop. The intense strikes continue back and forth until Pillman takes control for a brief period, but Wright ultimately fights back with several crossbodies and missile drop kicks. Pillman crashes into the guardrail while attempting an axe handle, and Wright takes advantage with a flying crossbody. Pillman, appearing to be worn out, collapses on Irish whips but drop kicks Wright out of the air. He counters by crouching Pillman on the ropes before they switch positions during a German suplex. In the end, Pillman makes a move for a sunset flip, only for Alex to sit on him for the pin. Next, Diamond Dallas Page puts the Diamond Doll on the line against Dave Sullivan in an arm wrestling contest. DDP provides Dave an opportunity to back out, but he chooses not to. Dave adjusts his hat to face backward and approaches the table. Dallas then hesitates a few times, prompting Dave to energize the audience. Ultimately, they entwine their arms and grapple back and forth. Max even offers DDP some additional support. Nevertheless, Dave achieves an unexpected win. The doll accidentally collided with Max, causing him to bump into Dallas. After the contest, DDP pushes Max. They argue until Max clarifies that it was the doll's mistake. They embrace, and DDP then directs his anger toward the Diamond Doll instead. He subsequently encounters Mean Gene Okerlund in the aisle. Gene informs DDP that he lost and the Diamond Doll will be going on a date with Dave. DDP contests this. He claims it was an injustice and requests a rematch. Match number 3 would be a one-on-one contest between Jim Duggan, in place of an injured Marcus Alexander Bagwell, and Sergeant Craig Pittman. Pittman tries to dominate the match with arm holds until he crashes to the floor after a failed clothesline. He jumps over the ring steps and nearly lands on his feet and regains the upper hand with a strike to the throat. Then, he tears off Jim's knee pad and slams his leg against the post. Pittman keeps targeting Duggan's leg with a spinning toe hold, but is pushed off to the floor. Duggan makes a comeback with several clotheslines, including his finishing move. However, Pittman brushes it off and locks Jim in the code red cross-arm breaker. Duggan reaches for the ropes, but Pittman refuses to release the hold, and the referee has no option but to call for the disqualification. Colonel Robert Parker challenges his former team, Harlem Heat, with his new stable members Dick Slater and Bunkhouse Buck, in the next match. The match begins with a wild melee. Booker T delivers a sidekick and follows it with a bicycle kick before Harlem Heat double teams both Buck and Slater. Stevie Ray slows down the match by applying some holds. Booker T fails to land an elbow, but he bounces back with a spinner Rooney. Eventually, Buck and Slater gain the upper hand. They toss Stevie Ray out of the ring and slam him into the post. Buck brings him back into the ring and attempts to pin him. Booker T comes back and clears the ring until Slater disrupts a pin attempt. The match turns into another brawl. The referee is preoccupied with the disorder and doesn't notice when he rolls up Buck. Parker and Sherry take turns reversing the pin until Booker T finds himself on top. The referee then turns around and counts to 3. In the next contest, Arn Anderson defends the WCW television title against the Renegade. The Renegade gains the initial edge with a series of clotheslines and a prolonged headlock. He continues to scream as Arn tries to take control. Arn eventually places Renegade in an abdominal stretch, but he counters it. Arn then executes an enziguri on Renegade, but he withstands it as well. They bump into each other and exchange sleeper holds, and Arn executes a back suplex and exhausts Renegade with a chinlock. He even delivers a spinebuster, but to no avail. Renegade trips Arn on the top rope and performs a Samoan drop and follows it up with a flying splash to secure the victory in the TV title. The Renegade celebrates with fireworks and strikes a pose on the turnbuckles. He then points towards someone in the audience. The camera shifts to reveal the giant who is standing, and silently gazes at the Renegade. Jimmy leans too close to the railing, prompting the giant to reach for him and glare before walking away. The Nasty Boys defend the World Tag Team title against the Blue Bloods in the next bout. The brawl moves to the ground and Sags lashes Regal with his jacket. They then pound him and deliver the pit stop to Regal. Eden receives the same treatment, prompting the Blue Bloods to regroup. The referee loses grip on the match as the Nasty Boys work together against Regal. Sags employs a weapon while Knobbs slams Eden onto a chair. Knobbs eventually tumbles out of the ring after missing a clothesline, allowing Regal to execute an unexpected elbow. He subsequently traps Knobbs in his corner, and the Blue Bloods dominate him with powerful strikes and holds. They then create a referee distraction to toss Sags over the ropes and Eden attempts a flying knee. Knobbs comes back and clears the ring until the match devolves into another fistfight. Harlem Heat shows up to interfere. Booker T executes a Harlem hangover while the referee is preoccupied. However, he inadvertently sends Eden crashing off the top rope as he exits. Sags seizes the chance to deliver a flying elbow, and Knobbs makes the cover for the victory. In the finals of the United States Championship Tournament, Sting faces Meng in the following contest. Meng dominates the match in the beginning with powerful strikes. He brushes off Sting's attacks and sends him crashing to the floor. He then delivers a sit-out powerbomb and a shoulder breaker and follows up with a double nerve hold. Meng also takes advantage of a referee distraction to allow Colonel Parker to attack and continuously interrupts Sting's comebacks. A sunset flip and a collision off the ropes fail to gain the upper hand for Sting. Meng delivers a diving headbutt, but Sting ultimately brings him down with a jumping clothesline and a facebuster. Then both competitors spill over the ropes during the clothesline. Sting pursues Parker until Meng regains his footing. Meng crashes into the post following a missed attack. Sting rolls him back into the ring and attempts the Scorpion Deathlock, but Meng escapes. Sting then executes both a flying clothesline and a flying splash. Neither maneuver proves successful. He finally secures the victory by hitting a jumping DDT to win the US title. Ric Flair and Randy Savage meet in the main event of the 1995 Great American Bash. Savage enters the arena with his father, pursues Flair, and gains the upper hand. He swings Flair around the ring, delivers axe handles, and backdrops. Flair attempts to take command by throwing Savage into the rail and the stairs, but he is unyielding. Savage hurls Flair off the ropes and flips over. However, Flair seizes the opportunity to strike Angelo Powerful, but it's a setup. Flair targets Savage's leg and traps him in a figure four, utilizing the ropes for support until Savage ultimately counters the hold. Randy appears injured, but he keeps attacking lying on his back. They exchange punches, and Flair performs another flip. Savage ultimately executes the flying elbow. He covers Flair only to lift him before the count of 3. The referee intervenes as Flair rolls to the outside. Savage tries for a flying axe handle and crashes into the guardrail. Then, Flair targets Angelo. This time, Powerful chokes Flair with his cane. He shoves him down and grabs the cane. Flair then strikes Savage with it while the referee is preoccupied and secures the pin. The fallout of the Great American Bash resulted in several rematches. Flair and Savage would face off again in a lifeguard match at Bash at the Beach 95, as would Sting and Meng again meet for the United States title, but the World Tag Team title would be on the line in a triangle tag match between Harlem Heat, who had regained the titles, the Nasty Boys, and the Blue Bloods. The WCW World Champion Hulk Hogan would also return to action, defending the title against Vader in the cage at Bash in the Beach, and Kamala to make his debut on WCW pay-per-view.